In the bustling city of Denialton, George Denial lived a life steeped in denial. It all started with the small things. He denied the existence of his morning alarm clock, blaming his tardiness on a malfunctioning device rather than his own reluctance to face the day. He denied the inconvenience of rush hour traffic, insisting that the endless line of cars was simply a figment of his imagination. When his boss reprimanded him for being late to work, George denied any wrongdoing, instead attributing his lateness to unforeseen circumstances beyond his control. As time passed, George's denials only grew more elaborate. He denied the reality of his mounting bills, convinced that they would magically disappear if he ignored them long enough. He denied the inevitability of rainy days, stepping out of his apartment without an umbrella and cursing the weather forecasters for their misguided predictions. But there was one thing George denied more fervently than anything else: his feelings for his neighbor, Emily. Despite the undeniable chemistry between them, George refused to acknowledge his growing affection for her. He denied the butterflies in his stomach whenever she smiled at him, dismissing them as indigestion. He denied the warmth in his heart whenever she laughed at his jokes, attributing it to a sudden spike in temperature rather than genuine emotion. And when Emily finally mustered the courage to confess her feelings for him, George denied her words, insisting that they were nothing more than the ramblings of a delusional mind. Then, one fateful morning, George stood before the mirror and denied the reflection staring back at him. "I am not George Denial," he declared, his voice trembling with conviction. "I am someone else entirely." As the words echoed in the empty room, George felt a strange sensation wash over him. It was as if the very ground beneath his feet was shifting, and he was being pulled into a void of nothingness. In his final moments, George Denial realized the true extent of his power. By denying his own existence, he had erased himself from the fabric of reality. And as the world continued on, oblivious to his absence, George became nothing more than a forgotten whisper in the winds of Denialton. And Emily, left behind, mourned the man who had denied her love until he denied his very existence.